Hello, Mr. President.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
It's our pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you very
Please.
much.
Okay, Mr. President, thank you very much for being with us today, sharing your time this morning. Let us begin. This year marks the 20th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Kazakhstan and Montenegro. At the same time, your visit is historic, as this is the first time the president of Montenegro visits our country. What was your key objectives for this visit, and how do you see they contribute into the further strengthening of bilateral ties?
So, indeed, this is absolutely a historic visit, as it is the first one of the president of Montenegro to Kazakhstan. So I'm here at the invitation of the President Tokayev. We met, I think it was last year at the margins of the General Assembly in New York, and we discussed, and he invited me, and now we are realizing this visit this year. This year is also very special for Montenegro because this is the year when we celebrate 20 years since we have regained our independence. Mm-hmm. And also 20 years is the establishment of diplomatic relationship with Kazakhstan. So I think that with this visit, both Kazakhstan and Montenegro really wants to show that our partnership and friendship is also at the highest political level. Also, the point of the visit was to give additional substance to our bilateral relationship, which is friendly.
Yes.
And this is, what I also said yesterday when I was greeted by the president, the fact that I'm coming as a friend in a friendly country. So the substance that we both wanted to provide is very much related to our economic cooperation. Mm-hmm. And this is why I came with a relatively large business delegation from Montenegro. About 30 people from different economic fields that yesterday were meeting their counterparts in Kazakhstan at a business forum here in order really to get together and to see whether the economic cooperation between our two countries can be further strengthened. Mm-hmm. I do want to mention that I have arrived with your national flag carrier at Astana, which is connecting Montenegro both with Astana and
yes.
as well as with Almaty. The flight takes about 5 hours and 30 minutes. So this air connection, which now has lasted for the last, I think, more than 5 years, has also provided a deeper strengthening of our ties.
Yes, you've just mentioned that you met President Tokayev earlier. It was indeed last year, the UN's General Assembly, and where you emphasized that time that Montenegro shares with the countries of Central Asia, including Kazakhstan, the values of peace, of trust and multilateralism. So given that, what are the key issues on the agenda today regarding cooperation of our countries within multilateral and international platforms?
So let me just also mention that yesterday we have signed 3 bilateral agreements. Mm-hmm. The one between 2 chambers of commerce.
Yes.
The other one between 2 national organizations for tourism. And the third one between 2 public broadcasters. There are a number of bilateral treaties which are now being prepared by our 2 governments. The one which is a government-to-government treaty on economic cooperation, which will be providing a legal basis for creation of an economic council between the 2 countries. Mm-hmm. The second one is a treaty between the ministries in charge of digital transformation. I think that Montenegro can take some know-how from Kazakhstan when it comes to digital transformation. I think that you have done a lot in this regard.
Yeah.
And the third one is related to cooperation between justice departments. Mm-hmm. So this is all now really providing a new momentum for the legal framework which is now being created between our 2 countries. We do very much also cooperate closely within the multilateral system. As you have mentioned, we are both very much devoted to UN as the key body of the multilateral system in the world. I think that this is where we usually, and our embassies, our missions in New York work closely together. Along the lines of promoting peace, international cooperation among the nations. And in that regard, I think that the position of both Kazakhstan and Montenegro in this very uncertain and very often geopolitically challenging world is very similar. And this is why I think that strengthening relationship between like-minded countries like Kazakhstan and Montenegro is very important. I'd also want to mention another thing. Montenegro is currently finalizing our EU accession.
Yes.
So out of 10 candidate countries that are currently trying to get into the EU, Montenegro is by far the most advanced. So by being in the EU, this is going to be just another platform for cooperation with Kazakhstan. As you know, the EU is one of the key economic partners of your country. And in that regard, we are very much also looking forward to strengthen the bonds between the EU and Kazakhstan once Montenegro gets into the EU.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And you just said that the legal framework is now in place when we talk about economic cooperation, and it's very important. Now, when we talk about economic cooperation specifically, and we will talk about some specific sectors, you mentioned digitalization, the logistics is also very important. We have energy cooperation. What are the areas of this economic cooperation holds the most untapped potential in your view?
I think that first of all, for Montenegro, tourism is a key economic sector, and in that regard, we do obviously want to position Montenegro even more strongly on the map of the Kazakh citizens, so that you actually come to Montenegro and see all the beauties of my country. And I think this is why many of the business people from the hospitality sector from Montenegro are actually here today with me. The other part of the economic cooperation is logistics. No need to explain the strategic location of Kazakhstan as well as of Montenegro on the world map. Especially now, given the fact of the need to develop further the so-called middle corridor connecting Asia and Europe. So this is what we also have discussed. You know that the EU is very much now investing in the middle corridor, and also with Montenegro being located in the Eastern Mediterranean, in the Adriatic. As a potential entry point to Europe, this is where both Kazakhstan and Montenegro can further cooperate together. The third sector is energy. So Montenegro also serves in Southeastern Europe as some kind of a electricity hub. So all the energy which is now being traded between the Balkans, which is energy abundant region, and Western Europe actually goes through Montenegro. No need to explain the role of Kazakhstan in that regard. So there's definitely space to do more in that regard. Construction, Montenegro is currently also entering a major investment cycle, building a number of highways, a number of motorways, a number of municipal infrastructure. And this is, I do believe, where the Kazakh companies can also be more active.
When we talk about transportation and transportation connectivity, logistics connectivity, and all of these routes, what immediate opportunities do you see for your country, for the Balkan region and wider Europe when we talk about the projects and initiatives in this specific sector?
So when you look at the map and see where Montenegro is positioned, when the ships go out of the Suez Canal, or if they come from Kazakhstan, to the Caspian and then the Caucasus and the Black Sea, one of the entry points to Europe can actually be Montenegro. There is a major port which is called the Port of Bar, predominantly in the state hands, and this is where I can see an immediate collaboration in this regard.
Now, let me mention the trade turnover between our countries. It's still not reflecting the full potential.
It's absolutely small.
It's absolutely small. But anyways, Kazakhstan's imports from Montenegro is being, diversified and include a broader range of products on the same time. So what do you see, what steps, what measures should be taken in order to intensify the trade?
So once we sign this treaty on economic cooperation between the two governments, which is now more or less ready to be signed soon, I think, as I told you, this would basically create a legal basis for the creation of the so-called economic commission between the two countries. Made out of different members of the two governments, which then basically has a task to actually think of the questions that you have just posed.
Do you set again a concrete goal of of the number of the amount that you are aiming to achieve in near future?
I wouldn't really now putting the number, but what I have mentioned yesterday in discussion with the president, and I think this is. The president really was right about that. Kazakhstan opened a diplomatic office in Montenegro 2 years ago. It's a consulate general in Podgorica, in our capital. What I said to the president, and this is something where I personally will put a lot of attention now when I go back home, starting an initiative that we really pay a close attention to this part of the world, to Central Asia, and logically and naturally by opening a diplomatic office in Kazakhstan,
from where should be representation
where we should be also covering the other countries of Central Asia. This is a region of about 100 million people. It's a region which very much shares the perspective of the world, like the one that we have in Montenegro. It's a region, with which we can really, work closely together on many different things, and this is what I think, makes sense. And this is something that should also be helping our economic cooperation to strengthen even further. Just for you to understand, Montenegro is a small country, so our diplomatic network is relatively limited. We have about 40 embassies around the world. Unfortunately, none in Central Asia, and this is something that we definitely need to change.
And back to the question of tourism, you just mentioned how important this sector in our bilateral cooperation. We indeed have the direct flights, which connects our cities, the visa-free regime also for the both sides. What else can be done? What other opportunities and possibilities should be existent for making our people closer and for spotting, for example, Kazakhstan and Montenegro for the people of two countries?
I think that really a great basis are the direct flights. And I think this is really what the flights have started back in 2021. I was back then an economy minister, also in charge of tourism, and I remember it very well when by having direct flights.
So personally invested in that.
We have opened this very important market for us. And now what we have been seeing over the last few years is a growing number of Kazakh citizens actually coming to Montenegro, discovering Montenegro, and I think that almost all of them do want to come back. When I also speak with our hospitality sector, they are very satisfied with tourists from Kazakhstan. They usually stay long, they're good spenders as well. So Kazakhstan really has become one of the markets where we do want, as a country, to make an additional focus. And this is why the people from the National Tourism Organization of Montenegro are also here. Let me also, as a president of Montenegro, say this aloud. People of Kazakhstan are welcomed in Montenegro. And as I said, I come here as a friend in a friendly country. And this is also the way that we treat, obviously our guests from Kazakhstan.
And my last question here, have you met your expectations out of this visiting in Kazakhstan?
Oh, absolutely. I think, we had a very intensive day yesterday. I met with the president, with the speaker of the parliament, with the prime minister and the members of the government. Today I will just, be speaking at your university, meet the president once again. And I think, also visiting the Astana International Financial Center, visiting Astana's Center for AI Development, some of the things that also Montenegro is a very similar, country in terms of where we are on the development state. We can definitely, use some of the knowledge and experience that you already have in order to, develop some of the things in Montenegro as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for your time and for your answers.